Hello everyone, and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, Temur Battlecrier. So this was a deck that was tearing up in the recent meta game or recent sort of tournaments, and I really wanted to try it out myself because I've seen it several times on the ladder, and it has impressed me, but I've never played it myself until now. And the idea of this deck, obviously, centered around the Temur Battlecrier, a 3-mana card that 3-mana 4/3 that says during your turn, spell you cast costs 1 less, but for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. So a lot of times when I see this card, in my head I think it costs 1 or less for each Temur Battlecrier. That's not the case. It costs 1 or less for each creature with power 4 or greater, which means if I have another creature, let's say Outcast or Trailblazer, now it costs 2 less. If I have Ancestral Vestige, now it costs 3 less. If I have Roaming Throne, now it costs 4 less. And the crazy thing is, Temur Battlecriers stack. So if I have 2 Temur Battlecriers on board, each spell that I cast costs 4 less. Yeah, that's right, 4 less, which makes it a free Roaming Thrones. So Roaming Thrones can, let's say, name humans, and we can pay 1 mana for an Outcast or Trailblazer. When it comes in, it will add that mana back, so it kind of pays for itself. And he adds, not only that, he gets us cards for every other additional creature with power 4 or greater that we play. So if we put another free Roaming Throne, we're going to draw a card. If we name humans on a Roaming Throne, we're drawing 2 cards. And you can see that changes goes on very quickly into an insane level. And once we do, when we have 2 green or a green and a red, we can cast Cactusfolk Sureshot for a green and a red, or cast Nature's Rhythm for any mana with 2 green and X being reduced to any amount for our deck, and then we can bring in our Cactusfolk Sureshot from the deck, or bring in a Dragonhawk from the deck and win the game directly from there. That is how crazy, how fast this deck can be, and it's actually an amazing combo. I am so happy that someone figured this out because it is chef's kiss, delicious deck. So here's how this deck actually works, or the deck list, I should say. Turn 1, we're gonna land War Elf. That's really all there is. We're playing green deck. Turn 1, we land War Elf. That's end the sentence, period. Nothing to add to that. But we could hold up a red mana with Torch the Tower in case we somehow didn't draw our land War Elf, because we could remove our opponent's turn 1 land War Elf, and that might be important. Turn 2, we got, or 2 mana, we got 2 Abrades. Now, Abrade normally is just 3 damage to a creature, which already is kind of relevant in a lot of aggressive matchups, but Abrade can also pop Agatha's Soul Cauldron and Simulacrum Synthesizer, 2 of the most popular deck in the current meta, which is pretty important. And then we also have 3 Esper Origin. So if we have nothing else, we can always Esper Origin to fix our draws. Surveil to fix our draw, gain a little bit of life, and then later on be able to get a Esper Maduin into play from the flashback ability. Now it's gonna take a while, but turn 2, we can fix our draws, and a lot of times I think everyone playing in Arena would appreciate a turn 2 land or a turn 2 hand fixer, right? I think a lot of us have felt that shuffler sting. So that's our turn 2 play. Now, Nature's Rhythm is not really a 2-mana play. I'm going to put it aside for now. Turn 3 is where this deck starts to going off the wall crazy, because we get Lumbering War Wagon, which will ramp us, or I don't want to say turn 3 mana, right? We get Lumbering War Wagon. So if we turn 1 land War Elf, that's turn 2 Lumbering War Wagon, and that's already crazy good. We can also plot an Outcast or Trailblazer so that later on we get a free mana on a later turn and just pop off from there, or we can play a Temur Battlecrier just naked out there. Kind of a threat that our opponent has to answer. If they don't answer, we win the game the following turn, but if they do answer, we kind of slows down our opponent's game plan for a little bit. So that's our 3-mana play. 4-mana play, we got, here's where it goes crazy, right? We're definitely not casting a Cactusfolk Sureshot naked. We're casting Roaming Throne naked a lot of times, and we're going to name, when you play Roaming Throne, I would recommend that you name humans. It's the most important creature type in the deck, because, you can name Druid as well, I guess, human or Druid, because we're trying to hit Outcast or Trailblazer, and what happens is that now our Outcast or Trailblazer comes in to give us 2 mana, and whenever we play, whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters, we will also draw 2 cards. So Roaming Throne is very important doing that. But if you're about to win, you can also name dragons for the Dragonhawk Fate's Tempest. So that's kind of the idea for our 5-mana play. Now, obviously, we're not playing Dragonhawk for 5 mana on turn 5, because turn 4, we're also warping in and then Anticausal Vestige. for 4 mana warp. And the warp ability actually also does get reduced by Temur Battlecrier's ability. So it could be a 3 mana for a 2 mana warp, and that can help us cheat in, a Lumbering War Wagon or another Roaming Throne and kind of really go off from there. So that's really where our 4 mana play is, going to our 5 mana play of the Dragonhawk. But when we're playing Dragonhawk, chances are we'll have a Temur Battlecrier or 2 on board, and Dragonhawk's going to cost us 3 or even just 2 mana, and it's going to draw us a bunch of cards, impulse draw a bunch of cards, and we can just have it go away and ping our opponent with that. That's real good, right? And we can also always Nature's Rhythm. If nothing else, Nature's Rhythm can bring us whatever card we need, whatever creature we need for that turn that we have it. And the great thing about Nature's Rhythm is that it also comes in from the graveyard. A 4 mana play is just as good because the X is free when Temur Battlecrier is on board. And don't forget, there's another 4 mana spell that we can play, which is the Flashback of the Esper Origin. And Flashback, even though it's 4 mana with Temur Battlecrier and a bunch of 4-drops on board, this could be a 1 mana Esper Origin. So imagine a 1 mana Esper Origin that comes in as a 4/4 that can immediately crew up a Lumbering War Wagon and make your opponent's life miserable. That's the whole idea of the deck. Of course, for a deck that does a lot of mana reduction, we have to get the Temur color out correctly. So our land base is going to be a little bit tricky. We have 1 island, 1 Mistrise Village just to fight those counterspell decks, 3 mountain, and 4 forests. We need a lot of basic lands to help out the Lumbering War Wagon. Then we have 4 Stomping Grounds and 2 Thornspire Verge for the red-green, because this whole deck is mostly red-green. And we have 1 Botanical Sanctum and 4 Breeding Pools, because, of course, this deck, even though it's mostly red-green, I would say it's even more mostly green, because we need to get the Landward Elf out turn 1. We want to make sure that almost every dual land that we hit are lands that can play Landward Elves. Now, of course, Thornspire Verge can't do it, because it defaults to red, so that's why we only have 2 off in the deck. And then we have 4 Starting Towns. So Starting Town can also play the Landward Elf, but later on can help us cast the Temur Battlecrier for that 3 different color that we need. And that's the whole idea of the Temur Battlecrier deck. Now let's go into the games and see how it actually performs. Alright, our opponent is J Fry. You forgot the Philip. I'm gonna go first, which is good, but no Landward Elf, which is bad. Let's start with the pool. I'm not actually sure I should have kept this hand or not. 2 Temur Battlecriers. It would be real cool if our opponent's not playing a full counterspell deck. Main's Mind Tome. Do the plotting. They're Esper. They're gonna duress me. Sorry, you can't duress any of these cards. And they're gonna hold up a counterspell, probably. Well, not much I can do about that. So let's see if the Temur Battlecrier lives. Probably won't. Esper control is... it's a deck. Alright, he's letting this out, so we'll add a red. Not sure if it'll matter here. This only gets me reduced by 1. This gets both Roaming Thrones out there. 4 or greater against Trample and Haste. There was a counterspell. At least he didn't counter the Roaming Throne. Let's see what they do, because if they have... okay, I guess we just died. That was a fun start. Is it during your turn? During your turn, your spell costs less. I mean, if my Outcaster Trailblazer dies, I am out of cards. But if he doesn't die, oh boy, is our opponent gonna get it. No, it's gone. It lasted like all 10 seconds. Oh. That is a card. If I played this, there's 2 of them. Make it cost 1 less. Yeah. Let's go with the humans. Human! I get 2 triggers. We'll add a red and a green. Can't. Can I somehow use the red mana? No, it won't let me. This is so lame. Well, triggers 3 times at least. If I draw Outcaster Trailblazer, I'm gonna be so mad. Oh, Roaming Thrones. That's pretty nice. We draw 3 cards now. See, can you imagine if this was a green? Oh my god. Okay. Nature's Rhythm, Lumbering War Wagon, Esper Origins. I like it. I think I want the Lumbering War Wagon here. I am lumbering. Feel me roar. I probably need another red. Yeah, if I was on a green, like if I could have kept that green, I could have Nature's Rhythm for like, what's the colloquial amount for a buttload? I don't know. The point is, Arena's dumb, man. Like, not just the auto tapper, but the mana usage is rigged. Like, it forced me to use green. That game was lost because I was forced to use green. If I used the red mana for the Roaming Throne, okay, didn't matter. GG. Let me talk about it, because I'm still peeved. If you look at what I was able to do, right? I had 1 extra mana that I used to play the Lumbering War Wagon, which is green, by the way, because I was able to play the breeding pool. Now imagine if I get to keep my green mana, and I had the breeding pool. That's 2 mana, which I can then use on Nature's Rhythm. With 5 reductions on board, I could have got my Dragonhawk that turn, and basically just won. But here we are. Unfair. Still won. I mean, we still won. I'm still happy about it. Alright, our opponent is 3 Pures. Oh, please don't pee on me. Opponent goes first. Well, we get to finish our elf quest, but opponent goes first, so I'm gonna cry a little. How's it going? Put it this way. Because if I'm going to play a 3-mana spell next turn, I might as well not take an extra 1 damage. Decavern Bat. Annoying, but hey, you know, you can't take everything here. And the Lumbering War Wagon probably will help us get there, because it's crew 4, but should be able to crew them, I think. With Esper Origin and stuff. And I'll cast a Trailblazer. Does he take my Dragonhawk? I have 2 Dragonhawks in the deck. And it's not a good card to take. He takes Outcaster Trailblazer, which is fair. Come on. We ran. course we ramp. I can't ramp too quickly next turn. Creature of the Schism. I could Dragonhawk. I mean, that is the stuff, right? Exile the top X card to each opponent. That's not so great. I have to deal it to opponent. And he can just kill the Dragonhawk. Like, I don't get much out of it if he just kills the Dragonhawk, right? Esper Origin, on the other hand, also doesn't do anything. I could torch the Deep Cavern Bat. Let's just torch this. Then I can play this for 3 mana, crew, then attack. Do I do that? Let's do that. Ooh, another Dragonhawk. Well, not saying no to that, right? Double Dragonhawk is pretty nice. But I kind of... Well, it's going to go away. I don't know why it matters. Did you just get a land here? I don't know if he trades. He does trade. Clear the board for me? Thanks. I don't really need that lumbering war wagon, but it's nice of him to trade with me. Tragic. My trajectory was very tragic. But he's got a Spyglass Siren. And he's gonna make it big. He did make it big. Abrade. I don't know if I need Abrade here. I think we just bring back this Esper Origin. Ooh, oh god. These are all real nice cards for the deck. Cactus, Sureshot, and Land War Elf. Do I just take the Land War Elf? Okay. I'm just gonna upgrade this Spyglass Siren. I think he wants to Kaito me. Gotta kill it before the declare blocker's face. Don't Kaito me, bro. Now, he can try to protect, but I don't know if he has protection and a Kaito. Deep Cavern Bat. That's fine. Don't have a card I really want to play. It's annoying, but again, I don't have a card I really want to play. So I get 2 mana to use that for the Lumbering War Wagon here. Search my library for another land. Do I need an island here? Don't know if I need the island, honestly. Oh, this also has war. It's great. Other creatures I control. Screw it up. You can kill the War Wagon if he's got a kill spell. This comes back with Finality counter. It's the last one. Other creature you control gets +2/+2 and trample. Bitter Triumph the Summon? Why? Let's get more lands. You can always use more lands. You gonna take 7 here? It does take 7. You already seen this land where Elf might as well play it. Not hiding anything. If I play the Esper Origin, it also gains haste. So I don't know what the plan is here. but good luck. Maybe they have Shieldred. Back in the days, right? So Kaito... But he can't tap down the Cactus Sureshot.
Slim chances just make victory that much sweeter.
I mean, I saw that coming.
I thrive in the dark.
Let's play the Temur Battlecrier. And then we can play this for 2 mana. Ooh, an Outcast with Trailblazer. I don't need the... Gonna put that into my hand. I mean, playing it doesn't actually do much, but I will play it. GG. It will make a huge board and force him to block. That was fun. Alright, our opponent is the Motley Cruel. Don't be cruel. Be nice. You're a Spore. Oh, Spore is nice. Alright, this is a hand that I don't think I want to keep. This is a hand that I also don't think I want to keep, but I'm gonna, I guess. Keep 6 and put back a starting town. And now we're gonna have to start praying. Because we don't have much going on here. Healer Hawk, okay. Okie doke. Those are cards that I could use. Not actually gonna be able to use any of these cards, right? I'm gonna Whirlwagon next turn. Yeah. Oh boy. There's a Blue-Eyed Birds deck? Blue-Eyed Birds deck with counter spells. I guess we're just screwed now. Oh, he let us out. They got a... There's no 2-mana Stifle, is there? Dude, I got so scared for a second if they have a 2-mana Stifle. But here's a Whirlwagon. Our wagon's whirling. They're gonna play stuff, right? Right? Okay. Interrupter, main phase. Sure. Are they gonna red? You want to block? You don't want to block. Each gone. Alright, what do we name? Dragons or humans? Maybe name humans. You can also name Eldrazi. But this costs too much to play. Well, Roaming Thorn has War 4, technically, right? It's just War 2. This is where it gets a lot of people. It's just War 2. But it doubles triggers. War doesn't trigger, so it's technically War 4. It's real fun. Yeah, that's all I can say. It's real fun. What are you gonna do, huh? With your Aven Interrupter? You're gonna interrupt me? That was a really weird play. I guess this is what happens when you're cruel. Oh, GG. Shame scoop. That works too. Alright, our opponent is Doctor Esquire. He's both a Doctor and he's Esquired. We got Landware Elves, but it's hard. I'm gonna risk it. Risk it for the biscuit. Oh, paid off. I get to Lumbering Warwagon turn 2. Which means we get to Temur Battlecrier turn 3. Get ourselves force. Two mana. Could he have a counter spell? I mean, I am gonna Temur Battlecrier. Somehow it has Essence Scatter or some shit. That would be weird. Don't be weird, opponent. Could attack with the Landware Elf, honestly. Pay 2 for the Outcaster Trailblazer. Do I have 2 more red? I don't have 2 more red. No way to... I could get 2 more red out, right? So let's play that. See if there's a counterspell. Get a red. Crew up. Now this only costs 2. Faded Dragonhawk. We draw a card, and then we'll look at the top many cards. This is free. Can name dragons. Draw another card. Is this? It's almost lethal. I don't know. Let's see if we get this counter. Phantom Interference. I could pay for this. I could then pay for the Esper Origin. Put the Breeding Pool in tapped. But my Roaming Throne is gone. It's down to 4. Get him to 2. Now, you could Day of Judgment here, but it won't do it. There's a Day of Judgment. But it won't do it because I have Fairy Dragon. Yep, GG. Ha! Take that, Dr. Esquire, and your blue-eye control. Alright, our opponent is Skit Exol. We're gonna go first. But no Landware Elves. Start on a starting town. Why yes, hello. How are you doing? Godless Shrine. I get to Abrade something. I don't really get to Abrade anything. Do the block. I got the Vestige, but I don't even think I can Vestige anything in. That's sad. Oh boy. This looks like a heavily counterspell deck, since he didn't play anything for 3 turns. Let's ramp. We draw a card and we ramp. It's not bad. Ooh, it's even better than ramping. Let's name humans. Well, Children's Edict's not in the game, but they do have like betrayals and stuff that can kill the Roaming Throne. Just don't do that. Be cool, opponent. Consult the stars. Our opponent chooses not to be cool. Oh, he pays for the mana. But he can't. Let's find out if he knows how to do this works. So you have like shoot the sheriff? Because I did choose humans, which is not... Well, okay. So I guess he's keeping up a counterspell. So we'll start with the Outcasted Trailblazer. Letting this out so we can get 2 mana. We'll get green and red. Still has too much mana, huh? 1, 2, 3. Then I only have 2 mana left. Which doesn't do much. One, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't do much either. Let's see if he hates on the Nature's Rhythm here. He definitely can. He didn't hate on the Nature's Rhythm? Whoa, okay. He gave me a bunch of card draws. Can I work this for 1 mana? I could. Warping the Vestige for 1 mana to draw 2 cards. 1 mana, draw 2. Almost an Ancestral Recall here. Alright, let's go with the Breeding Pool. Do I need to add this mana? It draws me 2 cards. I get 1 mana. I can't use that 1 mana for anything. Actually, I can, which is the fun part. Unless he counters it. I actually also get 2 mana. Lumbering Whirlwagon, Esper Origin. Let's get green. Get green again. Get a Lumbering Whirlwagon, which will ramp me. I'm sorry, opponent. You should have countered that first spell. I will take action. Get more lands out of my deck. This is a free card draw. I draw 4 cards? Holy shit. Okay. We're gonna deck. My name's Dragon. 35? Jeez. There's a dragon. There's another Roaming Thrones. So I would like to... Can I get another mana somehow? I don't think I can. Actually, yes I can. I am drawing too many cards. Roaming Throne, Mountain, Vestige, and a Cactusfolk. Just hardcast it. I got another Outcasted Trailblazer somewhere, right? There it is. Hey, buddy. I gotta draw too many cards. Cactusfolks. I think I'm gonna deck out. We have a counterspell for our Cactusfolk. I guess our opponent left. This is a sure shot. Unless they counter it. I'm already scared. I think I'm drawing like 6 cards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, let's go to combat. All of my creatures gain something? Seems good. I'll take it. You got Settle the Wreckage here. Standard Settle the Wreckage. War 2. Pay for it. I still get the ability. You did it too late. I'm gonna decline. It's fine. GG. You had all that. Minus 30. Get out. Nice Esper deck. Alright, our opponent is the Courtine. The Courting. Uh-oh, a Standard Bearer. Somebody who knows what they're doing. It's not a good hand, and our opponent's going first, but it's also not bad enough to throw back, right? Because we do have Esper Origin on turn 2 if nothing happens, and War Wagon on turn 3 at the very least. But I wish I had a Land War Elf. Uh-oh. They're gonna be fast. Are we fast enough to answer that? Answer's probably no. Cecil the Dark Knight. What are you gonna do on this turn? Nothing. Is there any way I stop Kaito here? I don't think so. Well, that certainly changes things. I don't really care about the decard pad. Take the Cecil out. You could take my Lumbering War Wagon. It would be a little annoying, but it's not the end of the world. And the Vestige definitely will also ramp us a little bit later on. The Outcaster Trailblazer is also really nice. He didn't take the War Wagon. Wild. Why would you not take the War Wagon? Now I'm gonna ramp like crazy. Had to play the starting town there, otherwise it'll come into play tapped, so it does slow me down a little bit more. 2 mana. I guess he's just gonna counter the Vestige. Do I care about him countering the Vestige though? Like, he's keeping that probably because he has counter spells, right? So I don't really need to do this. Well, I was gonna do that anyways. Another Vestige and an Abrade. Another Abrade's pretty nice. I don't know if I need another Vestige though. It's a good card. I could use the Vestige to cheat in the Vestige, but honestly, I don't think I'm drawing it anyways. The Cavern Bat. Yeah, that's great. It'll come back at the end of turn, giving me more chances to play spells. Oh, okay, you can also do that. That's fair. Wait, no, it doesn't matter. Right, yeah, it didn't matter. Here's an Abrade. We lumber. We're lumbering. Roaming throws. Let's get the dragon out of there. 2 forests. It's not the best. He's gonna Kaito me now. Didn't Kaito me. Shoot the sheriff. Ouch. My sheriff's been shot. Alright, well I get to play this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 mana. I think I do this. Let's get ourselves. Well, this is a lot of card draw. Green, I guess? Humans, please. I would like to draw 2 cards. This guy's yeehawing all over the place. Oh, he's just gonna quit. G to the G. Sorry, Quarantine. You're no match for all these card draws. Welcome back, everyone. Now that you saw those Temur Battlecrier games, how does this deck feel? It is insane. I can see why this deck was getting all of the, top of the meta games or top of the tournaments. It is surprisingly synergistic. Well, I don't want to say surprising synergistic because you can see it coming, but the synergies work surprisingly well. So much so that I think I only dropped 1 game out of the 7 games I played today. I got mana screwed one of the games because I kept a Landwar Elf and another land, and I never drew another land, and I never got to play my Lumbering War Wagon. This deck only needs 3 lands to get going. Once you have 3 lands, or 2 lands and a Landwar Elf, everything else just falls into place. And of course, this deck, once it falls into place, it keeps getting lands because of the Whirl Wagon, and nobody really wants to take the time to remove that Whirl Wagon. But because they don't, we're ramping so quickly into our throws, into our Vestige, into our Dragonhawk. And a lot of times people think Temur Battlecrier, which, again, as the name would suggest, they have to answer the Battlecrier. But you saw almost all of those games we won without really having to rely on the Battlecrier, and that's what made this deck insanely good. This Battlecrier does make the deck even more crazier. You know what I mean. It is so much better with it on board. All the reduction, and we get kind of, the Dragonhawk instant kill, or the Cactus Sure Shot instant kill. But we don't need to do that, right? The roaming throw, getting the Anticausal Vestige, getting the roaming throw, naming humans so that Allcaster Trailblazer draws us 2 cards for each creature entering, is already insane enough that our Lumbering War Wagon are going to attack for 7, 8, 9, 10 damage. And by the time that they had enough on board to answer those, then our Temur Battlecrier comes out. Then our Dragonhawk come out, and at that moment, our opponent has a 2-4 life, and they really don't stand a chance. So that's what makes this deck insanely good. And I think the best part about this deck that I haven't really felt for a long time for a lot of the combo deck is that it does not rely on the graveyard. So graveyard hate doesn't actually stop this deck. I'm not really quite sure what would stop this deck other than just being aggro and making sure that you have enough burns to kill the Landwar Elf early, but also have enough on-board presence to, beat your opponent before they play the Battlecrier and the Allcaster Trailblazer and ramp off from there. It's really hard, and that's why I think this is one of the top-tier decks. And funny enough, right, I think this deck does give all the current top tier decks a good run for their money, right? Against Vivi, we got the Abrades to kill their Cauldron, so they don't really get to combo off on us. And we got the Whirl Wagons and the Outcasted Trailblazers to get the card draws and enough damage on board that our opponent really don't have time to breathe. Right? And then, if you think about it, against aggro decks, we have a lot of ways to sustain a heavy enough board presence that they cannot aggressively push us out. And the biggest thing that I found out today, and which is probably the most amazing thing, is we eat the mirror for breakfast. Because Roaming Throne, it's not word 2, it's actually word 4 because of the way the wording works, right? No matter what creature type we choose, Roaming Throne is that creature type, which means that its triggered ability triggers twice. Ward is a triggered ability, so if our opponent tries to target it, it triggers twice, and our opponent needs to pay Ward 2 twice to actually target it, which for the mirror deck is a death sentence. They, their shoot the sheriffs and things don't actually hit Roaming Throne. They could have Nowhere to Runs, but Nowhere to Runs don't really hit a 4/4 that well. So this card, once we're able to stick it, then all bets are off. Then our Outcaster Trailblazers are drawing 2 cards, or if we name Eldrazi's, Anticausal Vestige can bring 2 things on board. Naming Dragons, oh boy, our opponent's getting hit by like a million whenever the Dragonhawk enters or attacks. Yeah, this is insane, and I love it. This is such a good deck. But good, clean deck, fair. It's not impossible to beat. It's not, I'm winning on turn 3 with Rats triggers. But it is very strong when played correctly. My favorite type of decks. That's really all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me. And I will see you guys next time.